My city Regensburg takes great pride in its wonderful architecture. Regensburg is Germany's best preserved medieval city. It has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2006.
If we speak about Odesa's culture, the way as we know it today, Odesa is a more recent city than Regensburg. Its active phase of development has started in the late 18th century. However, earlier there had been smaller settlements. Odesa has always been an open-minded and pro-European city with architectural and cultural gems worth protecting.
Regensburg used to be a hub in the Danube trade that brought early contact with Central and Eastern Europe, also with regard to Christianization, and it connected Regensburg with Italy. Its architectural heritage is reminiscent of Italy.
The same situation happened to Odesa. Even at the start of the 19th century, it has quickly become an important strategic port at the Black Sea coast, and it remains as such today. Our openness always meant ethnic diversity and the intricate mix of styles and traditions embodied in the image of the city. Italians, French, Germans, Jews, Bulgarian, Albanian, Greek people all lived here and worked for the prosperity of our city alongside with the Ukrainians and Russians.
The definition of UNESCO cultural heritage stresses architecture and builds structures, but it also encompasses the intangible. That may include festivities, parades, etc.
Since the start of the full-scale invasion of Russia to Ukraine, the question of Odesa's old city center becoming a part of the UNESCO World Heritage has been the most urgent. The support that was given to us by our twin city Regensburg in Odesa's successful application of becoming the UNESCO World Heritage Site was immense, so we are deeply grateful for it.
I'm involved in a European Union-sponsored project, a Jean Monnet network based in Leuven in Belgium that researches cultural heritage and heritage diplomacy in Ukraine. In my part, I study literature as part of cultural heritage, and this is very unusual because nobody would question that literature is part of culture, and yet literature is not in the focus of the notion of cultural heritage because its tangible part, so to say, books, manuscripts, quilts, they are necessary, but what readers really love about literature is not the tangible, but the intangible, the virtual, the imaginary worlds, really. The connection between the imaginary world of literature and concrete city spaces is fascinating. We recognize concrete cities in literature and start to see real cities differently. Odesa builds part of its heritage on precisely that, the immaterial and the virtual part of the literary heritage. It is a place for literary production and an important place in literature. Actually, in many national literatures written in many languages.
So it's no surprise that in 2019, Odesa became a UNESCO City of Literature. We've been living up to these status, holding various literary festivals, contests, and events. Even during the war, the work has never stopped. I believe that every week you can attend a public reading, a presentation of a new book or almanac, a literature studio or a book club meeting. Thanks to the Office of Odesa UNESCO City of Literature, the head of this office, Mirja Lecke, and various administrative and cultural organizations, we have been able to invite artists from all regions of Ukraine, and even from abroad, to build solid connections between Odesa and other UNESCO cities of literature. Odesa Literary Museum is among those that play the crucial part in this process.
The historic building of the Literary Museum in Odesa embodies the multi-layered history and heritage of Odesa culture. Gagarin's Palace was the prestigious residence of a noble family in the Tsarist Empire. Around 1900, it became the place of bourgeois imperial literary life. The Literaturka, the Odesa Literary Society, met here. Many of the city's famous writers exchanged their ideas in that building and paved the way for a specific Odesan modernism, both in literature and the arts. This heritage was silenced in Soviet times. With the foundation of the Literary Museum in the 1970s, a small part of the multifold heritage became visible again. After Ukrainian independence in 1991, it has become more and more important to locate Odesa's literary history in Ukrainian culture and to resist its appropriation by Russia. Since the full-scale invasion, the Russian army has carried out massive attacks on Odesa's cultural heritage sites. The Literary Museum has also suffered.
Despite the bombing and the fact that the main halls of exhibitions of the museum are currently closed, the work here continues. The broken windows were restored, and the scientific researchers of the museum preserve all the exhibits daily. Each month, there are various literature, art, and music events that can be attended. Also, temporary art and photography exhibitions held in the hall on the ground floor of the museum. And, of course, music concerts, which can be attended here in the Golden Hall of the Literature Museum. There have always been lectures dedicated to the Ukrainian history of literature in Odesa, and even interactive meetings with famous Ukrainian artists and their representatives. As a poet, I'm a participant of the Sunday evenings events, created and held here at the Literature Museum by Anna Malitska, a famous Odesa poet, translator, and the scientific researcher of the museum. Currently, the second almanac of the texts written by the participants of these events is in development. As soon as it is published, it will become a part of the main exhibition of the museum. It is the proof that the cultural life in Odesa continues, and the places that held the memory of it transform to withstand the changes and challenges of our times.
We know it from the field of memory studies. Cultural heritage, just as memory, always is tied to its contemporary contexts. It is the memory of a certain now, a heritage for a now. When societies change, heritage must change too. This process, as painful as it is a fascinating field for research.